Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Oaklands College here in St Albans. It's the NBL Live, back again for another season. I'm John Hobbs, alongside Graham Hiscock. Graham, welcome. First game of the season, well, for us anyway, and it's a Hertfordshire derby. Hemel Storm travelling to the Oaklands Wolves, but no team is closer than these two teams. Only 9 miles separate the two teams, and you know both of them pretty well. Welcome, and your thoughts on today's game.
Yeah, hi John, thanks very much and for the introduction, and it's great to be here. So much history between the two teams. Of course, the Oaklands Wolves were the Essex Leopards. They were 25 years being the Big Cats, and now they're based out here, and they've got a really young team. Half their team is at the academy, and 9 of the 12 players played at Oaklands Academy and have come through to the first team. As for Hemel Storm, they are ready to go. They are building a winning machine. The two Americans, Mike and Greg, are back. They've got Jack Burnell shooting well. Levi Noel is back from Italy, and just watch these guys go. It's going to be really intriguing, the youth against the experience of Hemel Storm. Absolutely,
and this season already we've been hearing the phrases of self-isolating, or a player has tested positive for the coronavirus. Quite a bit already this season, but even so, it's still great to have basketball back. Few weeks now into it, it's just great to have it back, and that's a testament to everyone involved with Basketball England.
I agree, John. It's the return to play strategy, and that all the safety precautions that are being put in, and that the teams are following them to the T. And if you're doing that and keeping your distance, and keeping yourself sanitized and wearing your masks, it's all good, and these games can go ahead. Obviously, unfortunately, the game earlier, the WBBL game, wasn't able to go ahead, which was so unfortunate.
Yep.
But hey, we've got this game, and it should be a great one.
Absolutely. Just under 2 minutes until tip-off. We'll quickly go into the lineups, starting with the hometown Oaklands Wolves. And they'll be starting today with Jordan Santiago, James Cummings, Kane Daly, Jarrell Lane, and Ray Okafor. So it's a good lineup for the Oaklands Wolves. Your thoughts on their team for this season?
Yeah, they've had just the one game back at on 31st of October. They lost by 4 to Nottingham Hoods. Big performance from Jordan Santiago. He's going to have to carry this team, especially with Evan Walsh having left to go on to play with the BBL. James Cummings has got to step up. Toby Castaldi-Davis and Kane Daly from the academy. They're big moments, and just big opportunities for these young players.
Absolutely. And for the Hemel Storm, just quickly, big winners against Reading Rockets last week in their first game of the season. They'll be starting with Mike Williams, Levi Noel, Teo Olafusi, Greg Polian, and it's going to be Jack Burnell that will be the other player in that starting five. Bodie Adalola will be on the bench. Who knows if he'll be getting minutes. We do hope that he will. Drew Spinks has kept his cards very close to his chest with Bodie's fitness. He obviously didn't play last week against Reading.
No, and it didn't hurt Hemel in that way, in that game. I mean, it's just showing the strength of their squad and the confidence they've got in the likes of Jack Burnell and Nick Allen as well, who've come through their junior programs. But Mike Williams, player of the week in the NBL. I mean, a huge performance, 36 minutes, 37 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, and a 30 efficiency, which is massive. Not far behind him, Greg Polian, who was on the team of the week, and backed up by the likes of Levi Noel and Jack. And if they start the game like they did last week, Oaklands have got to be ready. And I know Coach Tom Baker has talked about that in his pre-game thoughts. They've got to be ready right from the first minute, Oaklands Wolves.
Absolutely, and these two teams have actually played each other this season in the L. Lynch Trophy. Very successful L. Lynch Trophy. Of course, Hemel ran out 107-80 winners in that game. Craig Polion actually had 28 points, 14 rebounds in that game. Mike Williams supporting with 26. So the starting fives are just coming out now. Oaklands Wolves in black, and the Hemel Storm in familiar orange, very bright orange to start with. And of course, welcome everyone to the Basketball England YouTube channel. Keep the comments coming. It's great to see So many people already taking part and in engaging in the comments. Any questions you have to me or Graham, you can ask Graham. Probably best not to ask me.
Depends what they want to ask.
It depends, does, yeah. But get your comments coming in, and great to see so many of you on board here today. And as is customary, as we've seen throughout the NBL and the L Lynch Trophy, support, respect out of Black Lives Matter. And of course, last month, Graham, there was Black History Month. A lot of emphasis, especially on racial justice and equality in this world. And it's great to see Basketball England really taking to the forefront in this. And you can actually see, I don't know if you can see on the screen, but on the back of the vests of the Oaklands Wolves, Black Lives Matter highlighted on their jerseys as well.
Yeah, I think it's a great thing that's been brought to the fore all over the world, and it's so important. We want equality, and we want racial justice. Absolutely.
Absolutely. And here is Noel to start out. Williams, who's had such a strong start to the season, NBL Team of the Week last week for his showing 37 points, 5 triples in that win over the Reading Rockets. Another man who was hot from downtown on the ball right now, Jack Burnell. Noel inside. Here is Polion backing his man down, going inside and gets the drop.
Yeah, Greg just using a big mismatch there. He's so strong with that jump hook and a good option for Hemel.
Jordan Santiago, of course, last season with the Loughborough Riders. So much offensive burden on him, and his floater goes. Beautifully done there from Jordan Santiago. He had 23 points in the close game against Nottingham a couple of weeks back. Here's Williams. Williams with the pull-up jumper is good. Mike Williams getting on the board early.
And that's the second of the Hemel Storm's 1-2 punch. Mike Williams just knocking down the jump shot off the dribble.
Great to see both Americans back this season. Mike Williams and Greg Polion. A steal there. Noel comes up with it. Scramble at midcourt, and the Oaklands Wolves come up with it. Nice pass to Oak before, but he couldn't get the ball gripped. And here is Noel. Back to Burnell. Olafusi, who's come back after a season out, played with the Kestrels last season. A few seasons ago, excuse me. And Levi Noel is fouled on the floor. So great, Graham, to see Teo Olafusi, a defensive specialist, back in the National Basketball League. Won the playoff title a couple of seasons ago with the Kestrels.
He's a really good pickup for Hemel Storm, giving them some stability and toughness, exactly what they need.
Noel, here is Burnell, going inside to Polion with the turnaround jumper, strong. And Santiago with the rebound. Santiago going all the way inside, banks it home. And Jordan Santiago with 4 quick points. Burnell at the other end, and his pass pipped by Santiago, who's everywhere at the moment for the Oaklands Wolves. Kicks it out, Lane for 3. Lane in and out with his attempt. So far, a fast-paced start. Polion gets bumped and will go to the line for 2. Both teams really pushing the tempo in these opening 2 minutes.
And that was great play by Santiago, scoring at one end and getting back quick enough to make the steal at the other end. It's a real breakneck pace, exactly how Hemel started the game against Reading when they blew them away in that first quarter. But Oaklands Wolves hanging tough.
Absolutely. And again, to anyone that's just joined us, you've only missed the first 2 minutes of this clash here at Oaklands College. It's the Hertfordshire Derby to begin our NBL Live season. And Greg Polion in his second season with the Hemel Storm at the line. Of course, last week he had a double-double of 20 points, 10 rebounds. Such an integral part of the inside line for the Storm. Santiago. That's better defense there from Noel. Santiago puts up a three. It's off the window and no good.
That's just good job by Tayu there. Just exactly what he needs to do for Hemel.
Burnell. And Olafusi puts up a three and knocks it down. Tayo Olafusi, defensive specialist, but he does have a long-range arsenal in his game.
And nice behind the back pass from Jack there, and Tayo just knocking down the big three for Hemel.
Hemel up 9-4. 3 minutes gone in this first quarter. Here is Lane. Pulling the moves on Williams. Kicks it out to Cummings. Shot clock down to 3. And Kane Daly was short with his triple. Of course, you mentioned earlier, Graham, that a number of these Oakland Wolves players are products of this academy, the Elite Academy Basketball League and the youth setup. Of course, you yourself, you're a coach of the junior setup around this area as well. How important is it to have youngsters, especially from the Oakland Wolves, being represented at this high level?
Well, it just shows that they've got a pathway. If they can work hard at their junior basketball, all those years that they're playing, they're developing, there is a clear path. Whether it's to Oakland's, Hemel will also take on young players, but Oakland Wolves are really showing the way with the academy, and it is a direct line, and that's a direct line three there for Olafusi.
Already a second triple for Tayo Olafusi. He moves on to 6. And just like that, Hemel have an 8-point lead. Cummings. Lane putting the moves again on Williams. Looking for options. Finds it in Cummings. Goes for 3 and knocks it down. James Cummings from downtown.
Yeah, great job from James. He's another local product, just lives down the road. Been out to Italy, to the academy there, and come back and playing strong there.
Beautiful move inside from Polion, using his body to get that hook away and gets it to go.
That's almost unguardable, John, that jump hook, once he gets airborne.
And Santiago already a lot of the offensive burden on Jordan Santiago. Gets it stripped, but a foul called. Or in fact, no, a foot violation, excuse me. I did think that was good defense from Levi Knoll there on Santiago. And a lot of the offensive burden, as I've said, on Jordan this season for Oakland's Wolves. Had 23 points in their loss against the Nottingham Hoods.
Yeah, he's a big player for them, but they've got to try and get the ball out of his hand as well and get him working off the ball if they can. Keep the ball moving.
Only 2 players in double figures for the Wolves in their loss against the Hoods. Jordan Santiago, one of those players, and the ball gets tipped out of his hands. It will be a Wolves possession.
Yeah, looking at that game against the Hoods, only a 4-point loss, but as you say, just himself and Jarrell Lane in double figures, and if they can get a third scorer and just be able to share the ball, to have confidence in all the young players, and you've got young academy players out there at the moment, then things can really look rosy for the Wolves.
Inside was Gastaldi Davis, but his layup was no good. Burnell kicks it out to Noel. Noel inside, blocked by Ahmed Kateri, who's into the game for the first time. Santiago for 3. And Burnell gets his own rebound there. Williams, and a poor pass from Williams. And Jordan Santiago with an easy score.
That's good play again. Santiago all over the court, deflecting passes, finishing off the layup again. And Hemel are really trying to push the ball, but Oakland's Wolves still hanging tough.
Burnell for 3, long. And rebound there by Caleb Tabernar, who's also into the game for the first time. Big 3 on the way, no good from Nick Petrell. Excuse me. Here is Levi Knoll. Inside to Polion. Polion inside, that's a tough move from Polion against the young Caleb Tabernar.
He's only 6'6", Greg, and he just makes the most of every inch of his stature, and just a tough move yet again inside.
And already you can see that a lot of the focus will be on Jordan Santiago offensively this season. And Jordan Santiago will actually take a seat at this time. And Vates Caney will come into the game for the first time. Young Italian.
Another player from the EABL team here at Oaklands.
Turnaround jumper, no good from Tabana. And Williams nearly getting to us on the commentary table. Here is Olafusi. Nick Allen into the game for the Storm. Olafusi kicks it out. Polion for three. Polion is good. And already Hemel having great success from downtown. Already 3 for 4 from three-point land. Petrell driving inside. Gastoldi Davis, no good, too strong. Rebound though, tough rebound, and the putback from Caleb Tabana.
That's exactly what the Wolves need to do. They need to get those offensive rebounds, get other people scoring and contributing. And going back to Polion's three, he's got that in his arsenal anytime he needs it.
On the turnaround, again was Polion, this time no good. Oakland's pushing the ball really well. It's just that final product isn't going for them. Here's Nick Allen. Allen kicks it out to Polion. Again, on the turnaround is good. And a timeout called by Tom Baker. Greg Polion now with 13 points. And Hemel lead 21-11 with 2:35 remaining in this first quarter. And a lot of what we'll see with the protocol that we've been used to as we came in today, getting our temperature checked, making sure we had our masks on, is the balls are being changed after every possession. So every dead ball, every timeout, the balls get changed. It's something that might put the players off a little bit. Might they get used to it as the season goes on?
I think, John, it's just something they've got to deal with. It's all part of the protocol. It's all for their own safety of officials, and safety of everyone that's here. So I just think the guys have just got to get on with it while we're in this pandemic situation. And it's, you don't want players start using it as an excuse if they're not shooting as well with one ball and not another. I'm sure they won't. But I think it's safety first and just go with the flow and whatever Basketball England ask. In order to keep these games coming, the players, I'm sure, will abide by it.
Absolutely, and it's great to see so many comments, as mentioned earlier. Welcome to the Basketball England YouTube channel. Second season of NBL Live action. And for the first time, we're here at the Oaklands College. Really friendly facility, great staff, letting us in a little early today. And great to see Rebound Basketball Blog on the comments. Of course, that team of the week that we've kept mentioning in the early stages, of course, written and sponsored by the very popular National Basketball League blog. Santiago falls very heavily on the floor, and it will be a Hemel possession. I think Santiago was caught in two minds, whether to go for the jump shot or kick it out.
Yeah, and that's the only issue when you take off and you're not completely sure what you're going to do next. And unfortunately for Jordan, he's come back down quite heavily as well. It may well be a turnover. They don't need to lose him. He's such a key player for him. He's just tenacious. He's everywhere, all over the court.
Absolutely. Santiago, of course, first season with the Wolves, spent last season with the Loughborough Riders. We haven't seen enough of his three-pointer expertise as well. Shot 43% from downtown last season.
Well, Hemel Storm are going to know that. They're going to be all over him when he catches the ball. They're going to make him want to put the ball on the floor and dribble to the hoop.
Absolutely. Here is Nick Allen inside, beautifully moved, and Polion couldn't finish. That was a great pass from Nick Allen. Santiago, there it is for three, puts it in. Jordan Santiago from downtown.
And clearly feeling no ill effects.
Nick Allen going all the way, and he'll go to the line for two.
There's just no time to take a second off in this game. And Nick, such a good young product through Hemel Storm. And such a smart player, and it's great to see him getting minutes.
Absolutely.
Bodie being not able to start, it means that the likes of Jack Burnell and Nick get pushed up the order.
Absolutely. Jack Burnell, of course, starting today. Bodie Adalola was due to play but subject to a fitness test, Drew Spinks told me just before the game. And, of course, Nick Allen on the foul line. Averaged 23 points last season with the Hemel Storm second team. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, career high of 42 points in that same season. So it's good to see him move up to Division 1. A three-pointer on the way from Ahmed Kateri, but no good. Here is Williams. Walid Mamouni into the game for the first time, and his short jumper's no good. Santiago putting the moves on Williams, and tough move, but no foul called, and now Hemel come away with it. However, it's 1-on-3. Williams all the way, no good. Polion was wrestling for it, and it goes out of bounds. Oakland's ball. Mike Williams showing no fear, getting into the teeth of the Oakland's defense.
He's a real slasher, and he'll take it to the hoop strong. He's out of Rutgers University, and that's just the way he's always played. But I think this season he's maybe even more in control than he was last year, and he's such a massive part of this Hemel Storm team.
Here is Canny onto the ball for the Wolves. And Canny looking to get it back. Allen tipped it off him. Oliver Wright is into the game for the Wolves as well, number 10. 1:13 remaining in the first quarter. Hemel lead 23-14 as Levi Knoll comes into the game, and Mike Williams takes a breather. Santiago. Step back jumper from Santiago, short, and Allen picks up the loose ball and he pushes it for the Storm. Allen going all the way, kicks it out. Nice passing here. Shaquille Lewis into the game, puts in a three. Shaquille Lewis, the athletic 27-year-old with his long range showing.
That was a great shot, and what a tap pass or tip pass from Levi Knoll to set him up so he was wide open.
Final 30 seconds of this first quarter. That's good from James Cummings, the lefty.
That's a big shot for James. He's got to keep knocking those down.
Shaquille Lewis a bit out of control. Still has it blocked from behind from Kateri. Shot clock turned off. And a travel has been called there as Ahmed Kateri took a step too far in taking his first dribble.
Great block at first by Kateri. That's the second block he's had, but just shuffling his feet before he attacks. I think he was still pumped up after the block. Hadn't quite calmed down for the offensive play.
Good defensive play from Kateri as we enter the final 5 seconds. Knoll got to put up something. Shaquille Lewis will put up something. And it's in and out as we end the first quarter, and it's a solid job thus far from the Hemel Storm. They lead 26-16 over the Oaklands Wolves. Greg Polion, the high man, leading all scorers with 13 points. And it's been a solid first quarter for the Hemel Storm. Oaklands Wolves a little out of control at times, you feel, but as the second quarter goes, they might get their rhythm going and might bring the challenge to Hemel.
Yeah, I think they've just got to keep believing in themselves. Santiago can't, they want to get the ball into his hands, but at the right times. And when the other guys, like Cummings, Kateri is doing a good job, but Gastaldi Davis and the other shooters, Kane Daly, when they've got their chance to shine, just relax and let it happen and just knock your shots down. Because if Santiago can then become a bit of a decoy, let the other players, do their thing, get some points on the board, and then it's a little bit more difficult. Who the Hemel Storm guard? We can't just guard the one player. We've got to try and look at other players as well.
Absolutely. And while we've got a few minutes in play, the NBL Live sponsored by All Girls Basketball and Slam Jam and Dynamic. Of course, got to mention our sponsors for the NBL live stream this season. And of course, Slam Jam, a great way for kids to start playing the game of basketball. And if you yourself, Graham, a junior coach, how important is it to get these young players? I know it sounds like a silly question to ask, really, but for you as a young coach, how important is it to get those players not just to start basketball, but to keep them playing basketball, especially during this tough time? Yeah,
I think it's key for their mental health, their physical well-being, just being able to get sessions on. It's been difficult maybe for the grassroots to to have sessions. I mean, I go into the schools occasionally and do some coaching sessions. They're still having, in this lockdown anyway, still having coaches going in and being able to provide the kids with an insight into basketball. But, you know, with this return to play guidelines, like we said earlier, that BE are putting in really strong safety measures, it's allowing young players to get involved in the game, hopefully stay involved after this lockdown and long after that, and do it in a safe environment.
Absolutely, and a number of these young players suiting up for the Oaklands Wolves here today, as Ray Akpafor is into the game for the first time for the Wolves. Very quick three, very long though from Jarrell Lane, and it goes out of bounds. Hemel possession, maybe a bit too quick into the shot clock there from Jarrell Lane.
Yeah, just a touch. It was just needs maybe a couple of more passes. But Tom Hughes in now for Oaklands, just 16 years old in the EABL team, so giving youth a chance, Oaklands.
Levi Knowles' shot is no good, and here is Tom Hughes. Picks his dribble up and is fouled. I know that's one thing youth coaches don't tell their players, they do never pick up the ball until you get over half court. But we can allow that. I'd be doing the same thing if it were me.
It was a good rebound by Tom, but unfortunately he dribbled it and Hemel put a little trap on him, but he got away with it on that occasion.
And here is Hughes, putting the moves on Allen. Pull-up jumper, and that's long. And Shaquille Lewis comes up with it. Here is Mike Williams. Hemel again pushing up the tempo, but Knoll just slowing it down now. Here is Knoll. Mamouni for three, no good. Nick Allen with a big offensive rebound, and he'll go to the line for two. That's great play from Nick Allen, finding himself in the right spot, getting over the box out and getting that offensive rebound.
Yeah, Nick got straight in between the Oaklands Wolves defenders there, Lane and Kane Daly. They've got to do a better job of boxing out. However big the player is, get a body on the offensive player. Good job by Nick Allen.
All of Nick's points at the moment from the foul line, 3 for 3. And the lead stretches at this time to 11 points, possibility for 12. And he does indeed.
Yeah, Nick's always been a strong foul shooter, just technically really strong.
Jarrell Lane, here is Tom Hughes. Back to Lane. Lane driving inside, putting the moves on Williams. 8 on the shot clock. Lane going inside, and he's fouled by Williams. I think there was a bit too much contact as Lane was driving.
Yeah, that's a strong move by Lane. They did get a bit of sideways movement with the ball left to right, then the handoff from Cummings, and they've just got to attack quick before the Hemel Storm defense gets set.
Of course, Jarrell Lane, as you mentioned earlier, the other player in double figures in the game against Nottingham Hoods a couple of weeks ago, 13 points. He's spent some time in Italy as well, a well-travelled player.
Yeah, and now here to help the Oakland Wolves, and he's got to come up big tonight.
Williams finds some room and knocks down a big three. Mike Williams with his first triple of the day.
Yeah, just a strong move from Mike. Just catch, wide open, knocks down the three.
Kane Daly. Kane Daly finds some room over Williams and banks it home. The bank is open here at Oaklands on a Saturday afternoon.
That's a big shot, big move, bit fortuitous with the bank, but Kane Daly's got to be strong. He's massive in the EABL team.
Nick Allen finds a bit of room, no good. Mamouni following up, but Kane Daly takes it off him. Daly going all the way, kicks it out. Lane in the corner, short, but he gets his own rebound. And again, layup no good. Hemel pushing Mike Williams. It's 1-on-3 at the moment. Williams, nice pass. Allen gets it in. That's a beautiful pass from Mike Williams, and Nick Allen makes no mistake. And a turnover here. Wally Mamouni comes up with it, and Williams loses it. It'll be Oakland's possession. And James Cummings was the guilty man with that inbounds.
Yeah, they've got to concentrate the whole time, Oaklands Wolves. They can't switch off. And a wonderful pass from Mike Williams. If he adds the assist to his game, as we know he can score, it's just going to be a great all-round package this season for Hemel Storm. Absolutely.
And of course, the comments flooding in here on YouTube, and one of the comments from Daniel Nuttall is asking you how your handicap is these days. Dare I ask?
It's too low. I need to get it higher. But thank you, Daniel.
I know there's a farm near here. I didn't realise there was a golf course near here, but I'll have to check that out one day. Mike Williams on the turnaround, and that's good. Mike Williams having a great second quarter. He moves on to 7.
Yeah, he's got so many ways to score. That's a great spin move. Just creates space with a little fade and knocks down the jump shot.
Santiago, and I think that's an offensive foul. Moving screen by Ray Okafor.
I think that's right. They've got to try and do that to give Santiago a different look, give the defense something different to deal with. Set some screens, get Santiago off the ball screens, and then see what else they can create. But you've got to stand still on those screens there. Maybe Okafor just moves slightly.
And Okafor will take a seat. Caleb Tabernar back into the game for the Wolves. 15-point lead for the Storm, 35-20, with 6:24 remaining in the half. Williams finds a bit of daylight, and it's long, his three-point attempt. Daly going all the way, and a foul on the floor before the shot was going up.
Kane Daly, really athletic player. If we get him in the open floor in this game, you want to see him finish with aplomb. If he keeps attacking the basket, builds up the fouls on the Hemel Storm players, that would be a good job.
Tabernar, that's an offensive foul there. And Caleb Tabernar using a bit too much of his shoulder. And Greg Polion very aware of where he was. And that's a first foul for Caleb Tabernar.
Yeah, good strong defense by Greg, just holding his ground, moving his feet, getting in perfect position and creating the charge situation.
And head coach Tom Baker of the Oaklands Wolves just becoming a mop boy for a few minutes. Of course, due to the restrictions, of course, all games behind closed doors for the foreseeable future. So coaches and players on the bench will probably have to play a few extra roles as well as player. And obviously, Tom Baker, as we saw, mopping the floor there.
And he did a good job.
Only time will tell, really, won't it?
We'll see if he gets asked to come out the next time.
Olafusi, that's good with the short jumper.
Yeah, nice ball movement, just taking an easy option. Just catch and shoot for Olafusi.
Olafusi with 8 points, 5 rebounds so far. Step back jumper from Santiago, rattles one in.
Yeah, nice move, nice dribble step back, creating the space, knocking down the jump shot, Jordan Santiago.
He moves on to 11 points, first Oaklands player in double figures. Polion putting the moves on Tabernar. Jumper is good for Greg Polion.
That's just one of his stock moves that he can go to, just a little bit of fade, creating the space, nothing but net.
15 points now for Polion, leads all scorers. Daly going inside, bit strong. And here is Noel. Polion going all the way, banks it home, timeout Tom Baker. And the Hemel Storm have raced out to a 19-point lead with 4:51 remaining in the half.
And that's worrying signs for Oakland Wolves that Greg Polion's just run through their defense, hustled down the floor, finishing that layup. They've got to keep working hard, Oakland Wolves. They've got to match the intensity and the effort of Hemel Storm. And then hopefully better things will happen on the back of this timeout. But Hemel just carrying on their good play from last week, John.
Absolutely, and of course they were victors 112-103 against a very strong Reading Rockets team who before that defeated the Worthing Thunder in their first game. And of course a lot of teams playing their first games, second games. It's going to be very sporadic as the season goes on. Of course, with the ongoing COVID pandemic, teams will cancel games and postpone games, move games. It's going to be a very strange season, not just having supporters in the building, obviously all games behind closed doors, but every game could be changed at the drop of a hat, and that's going to be an absolute nightmare for coaches who could be 1 week preparing for one team and then finding out that that's going to be a game played in a couple weeks or a couple months' time.
Yeah, they're just going to have to respond to the situations. They're just going to have plan Bs. Maybe they have to change game plans. They will do. The coaches are really going to be challenged, as the players are. But as long as they've got games, they've had a bit of time to prepare for this one. But as you say, you could prepare for a game that has a lot of size, where the team has got a lot of size, and then maybe you end up playing a much quicker team, a smaller team. So
absolutely, yeah. Well, a few weeks ago, Worthing Thunder were meant to play the Oaklands Wolves. Instead, they played the Reading Rockets. It's just one of those things, isn't it? It does happen, or it will happen this season. It's going to be a season unlike any other in British basketball. Santiago going inside, and he's fouled.
It's better ball movement again by the Wolves. They start the ball on the right, get it over to the left, pick and roll or hand off. It doesn't matter. Just keep the ball with Santiago, but just keep moving the defense around. Don't let the Hemel Storm defense get set.
Podrell for the Wolves. A wild pass there from Gastoldi Davis, and it goes out of bounds. Hemel possession.
Yeah, just Toby sort of, again, leaving his feet there. Just passing behind Jordan.
Already we've seen that quite a lot with Oakland's players jumping up and opting to pass out. No players there. That's a 7th turnover for the Oaklands Wolves, as Polion, who's been unstoppable in this first half, connects again inside.
Yeah, he's just fantastic. He's strong, he is athletic, and he makes the absolute most of his stature.
Jordan Santiago is long with his attempt, but gets the ball back off the pass from Ewan James, who's into the game for the first time for the Storm. Number 8, former Leicester Warriors man. Here's Mike Williams, kicks it out. There is Ewan James, foot on the line for 2, but it's in and out. Williams comes up with it. A scramble under the basket here. Santiago comes up with it. Pull up 3 is good for Jordan Santiago. 2nd 3 of the day.
He's definitely got that shot in his locker. That's 2 now. That is wonderful.
Polion inside, count it, and a foul.
Yeah, but straight down the other end. Great 3 by Santiago, but you just cannot switch off if you're Oakland Wolves. Straight inside to Polion. Too strong, too good.
And that's Hemel's strength, and that's what they've been capitalising on all day. The fact that the Oakland's Wolves will get the basket at one end, they zoom down, not even 5 seconds on the shot clock, they get an easy shot off and get the 2. And as you saw there, Polion going to the line for another.
Yeah, Oakland's Wolves have got to get ready to get back on defence, and once they get the ball into Greg inside, that deep next to the basket, he's got that array of moves, whether it's jump hook or the dunk. If he can get up and over the hoop, he's going to be so tough to deal with. But Coach Tom Baker and his team have got to find a way to do it.
Absolutely. 20-point lead for the Hemel Storm, 45-25. If you've just joined us on the Basketball England YouTube channel, welcome. Great to see so many people watching, commenting. And of course, it's the Hertfordshire derby here today, and no one knows Hertfordshire basketball, I'd say, better than you, Graham. You know these two teams well. You've got a good relationship with both the coaches. What does basketball mean in Hertfordshire, and what is the community like here?
Well, basketball is massive. A lot of junior teams, apart from Oaklands. There's other teams as well. North Hearts Knights, East Hearts Royals, Hearts Warriors, that some of these players that are at the academy now had played for before. So that, these are all teams that are very close to each other. And obviously, you've got the Hearts Uni, that certainly with the WBBL team. Some of the ladies that are playing on the WBBL team are studying at Hearts Uni. and also being here to play for the team. So, you know, but basketball is massive. I'm involved, you know, volunteering with the Hearts Association as well. So, and big shout out to Angela Griffin, who's just finished her time as secretary, who I work closely with, and is a wonderful job for a number of years with Hertfordshire and through the East region.
Absolutely, I second that as well. Angela, a great servant of basketball here in this country. I remember her from her times with the West Herts Warriors back in the day. Oh, what fun that was.
And what fun that is. Massive
big
shot.
Three from Oliver Wright. First three of the day for the young man. Yep. Great shot from Oliver Wright.
Oaklands Academy player again. Just give them the time, let them grow.
Olafusi from downtown puts it in, and a foul.
That is a tough move. Again, just elevates, little bit of fade, drags the defence out, gets fouled, and great concentration, John. He is really showing his full game here today.
That's a third three-pointer for Teo Olafusi. And a 4-point play opportunity to come here. I was going to say as well, that it seemed that Oakland seemed a little reinvigorated following that timeout. A lot of energy in defence, and then that happens. Santiago, 2:35 remaining in the half. Looking for options, finds it, and they slow it down just a little bit. Here is Tabana, kicks it out again to Padrell. Shot clock down to 3. Santiago gets his man in the air, puts in the 2.
That is a tough move, massive fake. Mike Williams takes it, and great concentration from Santiago with the finish.
Polion puts up a 3 of his own, no good. Padrell going inside, finds Tabana. Tabana travelled. Yeah. Just looking for a bit of room, but unfortunately didn't keep his pivot foot up.
It's just the plays they need to finish off. Good job by Nick Powdrell, and you know that was a nice heads-up play, not forcing it. Another player, number 9 for Oaklands from the academy, and but big Tabana just needs to finish that next time.
Levi Knoll. Inside to Polion, and he'll go back to the line for 2. 21 points thus far for number 21, 9 of 12 from the field.
Yes, another high efficiency game for Greg. Once he gets that close to the hoop, and his footwork is so good, and he's so smart and unstoppable under there.
Final 2 minutes of the half. Jack Bennell back into the game for the Storm as well. Of course, assistant coach John Bennell, Jack Bennell's father, and of course you have a great relationship with the Bennell family yourself, don't you?
Yeah, I go back a long way with John, and obviously with Jack and his family, John's wife Emma and daughter Olivia. Yeah, we played basketball at Ware Rebels many years ago, and I coached with John in his final year at Leopards as well.
Santiago keeps the ball alive. Big 3 again, and it just about, in fact, it rattles out this time from Oliver Wright.
That was a really good-looking shot. Unfortunately, it didn't go in.
And here is Wright, pushing the ball in transition. It's 1 on 3. No fear from Wright, but his layup is no good. That was a good take there from Oliver Wright. And here is Knoll slowing it down for the Storm. Knoll gets it back from Olafusi, finds a bit of room. Olafusi, another 3, and a foul! Back-to-back triples for Teo Olafusi.
What a move. I mean, he cannot miss from behind the arc. He looks so relaxed. Wonderful shot, and he's giving Hemel Storm a massive shot in the arm by knocking down these extra 3s.
4 for 4 from three-point land for Teo Olafusi. Back-to-back 4-point opportunities here. And that's something you don't get in basketball much these days. And Teo Olafusi this time is long. And Oliver Wright just collects it as we enter the final minute of the half. I think there's a shot clock issue there, and the referees spotted it. And Hemel's lead now at 23 points with 54.1 seconds remaining. What a first half for Teo Olafusi, Graham. 4 for 4 from downtown, 15 points.
Yeah, and pre-game we talked about his defensive toughness and what he's going to bring and what he's won, what he's going to bring to Hemel Storm. We didn't talk so much about his three-point range, but we certainly know about it now.
Absolutely. Santiago with the turnaround jumper. Santiago with nearly half of Oakland's shot selection in this first half. Olafusi thought about the three, instead kicks it out to Ewan James. Ewan James kicks it out. Levi Knoll for three. They can't miss from downtown.
And that was wonderful patience and ball movement, dragging the defense into the help. Levi Knoll wide open.
They can't miss from downtown. That's their 6th three of the half, and a three-point attempt there from Mick Padrell, but it's no good, and that ends the first half. Hemel Storm with a 56-30 lead, and most of their offensive showing has been from downtown.
Yeah, they've just had excellent shot selection. They've just kept moving the ball. If it's open inside, they're going inside, but the amount of threes that they're taking and making, it's a really high percentage. And, you know, if you're going to keep making them, like Levi Knowles made, and AFUC, just keep knocking them down. Jack hasn't even, as I said, my boys want me to say Bonnell for three. I'm not sure I'll do it today.
I was saving that for you as well. Jack Bonnell, of course, 6 for 8 from downtown in the win last week against the Reading Rockets. Hasn't even attempted a three-pointer in this game. It's all been Teo Olafusi. He's been draining threes for fun, it seems. 2 of them 4-point play opportunities. And that ends the first half here at Oaklands College. Greg Polion leading all scorers with 22 points. Teo Olafusi with 15 for the Storm. For the Oaklands Wolves, Jordan Santiago, the high man there, with 16 points. Final thoughts on the first half, Graham?
Well, we thought Hemel were coming in here. Hemel Storm were coming in as favourites, and they've really shown that they're going to be a force to be reckoned with this season. And when they've got into full flow, using all their options, Oakland's Wolves just haven't been able to hang with them. But Oakland's mustn't drop their heads. They've got to keep fighting. Tom Baker is using this season as a development season, very much for the young players, and they've just got to keep believing, knock down the open shots, make the big plays when they get their chances. Absolutely,
and a great comment here from Heidi Cutts on the YouTube comments. Just wait until Jack gets started. Obviously, that could be very ominous that could be scarier for the Oaklands Wolves if that is the case.
Well, as I say, he may not be needed at the moment offensively, but he's there if required. And you know, if Oakland start shutting down certain options, they keep moving the ball, Jack can get open. But Coach Spinks has got to be really happy. They are sharing the ball, they're sharing responsibility, and they're tough to play against when they're being this efficient.
Absolutely, and that of course is half time here at Oaklands College. Oaklands Wolves 30, Hemel Storm 56. We'll be back in around 11 minutes' time.
What is commitment? We have commitment is very difficult to learn. Without commitment, sport is nothing. Without commitment, sport can be just recreational tool. Like if we want to have sport as educational tool, it has to be commitment.
So Slam Jam, it's a new initiative by Basketball England, targeted at 7 to 11-year-olds. It's about getting the children to have fun, to link basketball with a fun experience so that we can get lifelong involvement in the sport. And it's really focused on engagement and a fun, positive first experience. So it's not so much about the skill development side of basketball. It's really just about giving people a positive first experience of basketball. They're having fun, they're with their friends, they can develop at their own pace in their own time. So it's really developing on coordination, core strength, as well as basketball skills. So there's not necessarily basketball specific games, but they've got basketballs thrown in there. So they're working on dribbling, shooting, passing in a less structured environment than like a training session. And it's just focused on fun and getting primary school age children engaged. When they come to the first Slam Jam session, they get a t-shirt which they can keep. Each primary school they get some Slam Jam basketballs and a little goodie bag that the children can take home. And another thing, throughout the session, if we see like someone's doing really good at a certain skill or teamwork or being just nice and friendly to other people, they can get stickers. Good practice in sportsmanship as well as being good at the skills. So I think the reason this program is different is that there's a 12-week curriculum and there's different things to work on. And obviously, as a coach, you can kind of chop and change a little bit as is appropriate for the age group that you're teaching. But it just means that everybody's getting that same fun, first positive experience. Literally, we're just trying to get them to have positive experiences with basketball so that later on they can be maybe even just a supporter of the game. Go online, get in touch with Basketball England. They can also search Slam Jam for the local centres to them that run the initiative, and they can inquire and maybe even get a coach to come in and run a 12-week session.
Semi-final by 12 points and move through to the gold medal game. They're guaranteed a medal here.
What is commitment? We have commitment is very difficult to learn. Without commitment, sport is nothing. Without commitment, sport can be just recreational tool. Like if we want to have sport as educational tool, it has to be commitment.
So Slam Jam, it's a new initiative by Basketball England, targeted at 7 to 11-year-olds. It's about getting the children to have fun, to link basketball with a fun experience so that we can get lifelong involvement in the sport. And it's really focused on engagement and a fun, positive first experience. So it's not so much about the skill development side of basketball. It's really just about giving people a positive first experience of basketball. They're having fun, they're with their friends, they can develop at their own pace in their own time. So it's really developing on coordination, core strength, as well as basketball skills. So there's not necessarily basketball specific games, but they've got basketballs thrown in there. So they're working on dribbling, shooting, passing in a less structured environment than like a training session. And it's just focused on fun and getting primary school age children engaged. When they come to the first Slam Jam session, they get a t-shirt which they can keep. Each primary school, they get some Slam Jam basketballs and a little goodie bag that the children can take home. And another thing, throughout the session, if we see like someone's doing really good at a certain skill or teamwork or being just nice and friendly to other people, they can get stickers. Good practice and sportsmanship, as well as being good at the skills. So I think the reason this program is different is that there's a 12-week curriculum and there's different things to work on. And obviously, as a coach, you can kind of chop and change a little bit as is appropriate for the age group that you're teaching. But it just means that everybody's getting that same fun, first positive experience. Literally, we're just trying to get them to have positive experiences with basketball so that later on they can be maybe even just a supporter of the game. Go online, get in touch with Basketball England. They can also search Slam Jam for the local centres to them that run the initiative, and they can inquire and maybe even get a coach to come in and run a 12-week session.
Semi-final by 12 points and move through to the gold medal game. They're guaranteed a medal here.
And welcome back to Oaklands College. Third quarter about to start. Here, Hemel Storm in orange taking on the Oaklands Wolves. Hemel Storm leading 56-30. John Hobbs alongside Graham Hiscock here at NBL Live's Basketball England YouTube channel. Welcome if you've just joined us. As we start the third quarter, I'll bring Graham in just a bit. Here is Jack Burnell. Olafusi, who had such a strong first half. Here is Levi Knoll. And Burnell puts up his first three of the day. No good, it's too strong. Here is Santiago pushing the tempo. And Oliver Wright puts up a three, short. And the ball goes out of bounds. And it looks like it will be a Hemel ball. Graham, a strong first half showing by Hemel. What do Oaklands have to do to just get back into this game and make Hemel work a little bit more?
They've just got to get out to the shooters. The issue is that they're making the shots from the outside, and then they get the ball inside to Greg, and he can make it from inside as well, just as effectively. So they've just got to scramble, help each other out, and make their shots when they're open.
Knoll Finds Burnell in the corner. Burnell over right. Burnell connects.
Burnell for 3.
There it is.
Finally, Jack knocks one down. It's only his second one. He hasn't been needed, but I think he's come out and he absolutely wants to shoot the ball.
And I told you I'd let you use that. I told you.
Thank you, John. I'll remember you on my list whenever I prepare it.
I look forward to the Christmas list this year. An offensive foul called there. Hemel will get the ball back. 59-30 in the early stages of this third quarter. Polion, Burnell, Williams. Williams lost the ball but gets it again. Williams turnaround jumper is good. That's beautifully done from Mike Williams. And the gap is now 31.
Yeah, he's just looking absolutely on top form. Mike, big elevation on that jump shot.
Santiago lost the ball and Hemel can break again. Williams finds some room inside. Too strong. Polion on the follow. Blocked partially there. I think that was Tabernar with the block. Couldn't quite see it.
Yeah, he missed out on the box out first off, but great job by Caleb with the block. And they've got to be strong. They've got to compete with the bigs and on the offensive glass when Hemel are really crashing the boards.
That's a first block of the game for Caleb Tabernar. Here is Lane. James Cummings. Shot clock down to 7. Santiago getting double teamed here. Finds his way around. Battles Olafusi and battles it home.
What a move by Santiago.
Jack Burnell inside. Polion answers at the other end.
But no rest for Oaklands Wolves. That was a wonderful individual play by Santiago. But before you've even got a moment to enjoy that, Hemel have scored down the other end. Great pass by Jack Burnell to get Greg the easy finish.
Right. Cummings goes for 3, long. Mike Williams with a big rebound, overcoming Kane Daly there.
He's got good size, Mike Williams. Real good size guard, and he can rebound. He can pretty much do anything.
Jack Burnell finds Polion, who in turn finds Mike Williams. Noel, shot clock down to 1. Polion puts up a 3 and knocks it down as the buzzer went.
Everything going Storm's way, and they just kept moving the ball. Greg knew the shot clock was almost expired, and he just gets it off in time.
10 for 16 from downtown for the Storm. Santiago looking for room. Again, nearly double teamed again. Putting the moves on Noel. Santiago with the pull-up jumper, long. Big rebound by Tabernar. Cummings for 3. And Olafusi with another rebound. That's his 8th board of the game. Williams going inside and puts it in. Everything dropping for the Hemel Storm in this third quarter. 68-32 timeout. Oaklands Wolves, and Tom Baker, you can see, just shoving the boards away, not happy with his team's start to this third period.
Yeah, and Hemel Storm have come out flying this third quarter. They just want to put this game completely to bed early. They're crashing the balls. They're finishing with their layups. You know, great moves from Greg on the shot clock buzzer. Mike there. Jack knocking his 3 down. And they're unstoppable at the moment, Hemel, John.
Absolutely. And, of course, this is our second season of NBL Live Action as we stream the National Basketball League Division 1 and the Women's National Basketball League Division 1 this season. Of course, the next time we will be on your screens will be on the 12th of December as the Solent Kestrels face the Worthing Thunder at the Solent Sports Complex. What a game. That will be a big South Coast rivalry down in Southampton. It will be a 3:30 tip-off in that game. It was scheduled to be 6 o'clock. It has been changed to 3:30. What a game that will be down on the South Coast, Graham.
Solent have just been so dominant of late, and now Cameron Hildreth playing down at Worthing. another young, super talent that's signed for Wake Forest for next season. Hopefully he'll be able to get out there.
Absolutely,
COVID not
willing.
preventing, and he's a great star and another inspiration to the young players of this country.
Absolutely, first Worthing Thunder player to be called up to the GB national squad for their upcoming Eurobasket qualifiers. Great player, Cameron Hildreth, as Daly's in and out with his three-point attempt. Santiago with the offensive rebound against Hemel double team. Cummings, Daly, they switch it around. Padrell nearly lost the handle, gets it back and misses it just a bit there. Okafor no good with his attempt.
And this is what Wolves have just got to improve on. Let's just watch Mike.
Mike Williams banks it home. Mike Williams, I think, wanted a foul there, but nothing doing.
They are so quick down the floor. If you're not getting back on defense, you are going to be beaten and beaten again.
Santiago with the Steve Nash-esque jumper. That was good.
That's wonderful play by the diminutive in stature, but certainly massive heart, Santiago.
Absolutely. Santiago now has 20 points. Polion. Williams, 8 on the shot clock, and Mike Williams puts it in. 72-34 with 4:50 remaining in the third quarter.
Just a great flow about what Hemel are doing, really moving the ball quickly, moving their players around, not letting it stick.
And a foul called there on the floor. And just some other score lines to bring you in today's NBL action. Some games were live streamed as well, so always check the Basketball England YouTube channel and relative teams in Division 1 to see if they are streaming games near you. Or on your screen, more like, excuse me. We are playing behind closed doors. And the Derby Trailblazers picking up a 91-85 win over the Reading Rockets. And the Thames Valley Cavaliers scoring a 90-67 win over the Leicester Warriors. As Walid Mamouni into the game for the Storm, and it will be a Hemel possession.
It's just, again, a lot of pressure being put on Santiago to create. Let's see if they can just move the ball and share it, and maybe he can finish off the move.
James Cummings, 5 on the shot clock, kicks it out to Santiago. Shot clock down to 1. Santiago puts up a 3. And Akbafore blocked. I think that was by Mamouni. Cummings inside, counted and a foul.
Great move by James Cummings, the lefty. Just picks it up from beyond the three-point arc and attacks quickly and finishes. Really pleased for James. He's got to hang tough. Young player. Went out to Italy to a Scoli Academy. It was on the back of a Russell Hoops tour back in 2015, I think, that he went out there. Coaches really liked him. Unfortunately, he's missed the free throw. Joined the academy, played some pro ball over there, and now has come back to really push himself and be the best he can be.
Nick Allen. Burnell puts up a 3. Burnell long. And Akbafore with the rebound. Here is Santiago. Santiago putting the moves on Nick Allen inside. Blocked again. I think Burnell blocked Santiago there. And here is Allen. Allen driving at Cummings. Pass was deflected and away come the Oaklands Wolves. Santiago puts up a 3. Play a little scrappy both ends here. Burnell finds Polion. Polion offensive foul there. That's a good defensive recovery there. I think that was Nick Pandrell there with the charge.
Yeah, good job by Nick. And just a little bit crazy for about a minute there, up and down, helter-skelter. And the defense just stood strong there, and Powdrell taking the charge. And that's going to give him a lot of confidence going forward, because if you're not able to score the ball heavily, do some other stuff, play some defense, take a charge, whatever it might be to help your team.
Absolutely. And another scoreline from today. This was another game that was streamed on the Basketball England YouTube channel. Solent beating Team Newcastle 95-64. Both teams were unbeaten going into that game. Of course, Solent now moved to 3-0. Powdrell with a off-balance jumper. That was no good.
Yeah, that ended up being a really tough move when he went past Nick Allen, sort of having to double clutch in the air there.
Mike Williams for 3. And Paldrell with another rebound. Paldrell now kicks it out. And a foul there. Mike Williams, obvious slap to the back of Tom Hughes as he was driving to the hoop.
Yeah, nice fake by Tom there. He had the option for the 3 just for a split second, but nice shot fake dragging Mike Williams into the foul there.
Absolutely. And despite, if you take away the scoreline, Graham, a number of these youngsters really showing no fear. Of course, still an unfinished product, but showing no fear, as we saw there. Tom Hughes driving to the hoop against an experienced American, Mike Williams from Rutgers, and taking it to him, and that's what we want to see, isn't it? Just fearless basketball. Not caring who's in front of you, just playing your game.
Absolutely, not deferring to these players that that are of a high standard, that are adult players. Tom's 16, he's 17 early December, and he's just got to work hard, keep his head down, knock down his free throws when he gets his chance, just like that, with the help of the home ring, and then play some D. He's good size. Tom's 6'3", and has come through the junior systems and obviously at the academy now.
Nick Allen inside, using a bit of English, but nothing doing. Nice pass. Akpafore puts it in. Open was Ray Akpafore.
A nice look. And that's great use of his size there. Kateri and Akpafore with the easy score.
Mike Williams responds in kind from downtown.
Mike Williams, wow. I mean, he's sensational. All over the floor, John. Big time 3.
8 for 11 from the field for Mike Williams in this game. That's his second 3 of the day. And he now moves on to 18. Kateri. And Tom Hughes, travelled with it. Bit of excitement there for Tom Hughes as he got the ball, was close to the basket, and then realised before he kicked out he travelled.
Yeah, just got to keep control of their emotions and just try and do the easy thing. Try not to leave your feet unless you know exactly what you're going to do with the ball.
Nick Allen. Shaquille Lewis back into the game. Allen crossing over, going strong to the hoop. He'll go to the line for 2. And Nick Allen again driving to the hoop. This will be his 5th and 6th trip to the foul line here today. 1:40 remaining in the third quarter. And Hemel with a 35-point lead here at Oaklands College. And as we said at the top of the show, I don't think there's 2 teams that are closer to each other than these 2. 9 miles separating the Hemel Storm's home at Hemel Hempstead to the Oaklands College here in St Albans.
Yeah, well, you can pretty much get to one venue and the other on one road on the A414, so it's almost like the A414 derby. We want to get really technical.
Yeah, we'll just call it for us out-of-towners, we'll call it the Hertfordshire derby for now.
You've got it.
3-pointer from Ahmed Kateri.
Yeah, he's starting to do some good things now. Nice assist earlier and now knocking down the 3.
Nick Allen with Wally Mamouni picking it up, and here is Allen back on the ball. Shaquille Lewis inside. Shaquille Lewis scores.
It's a great pass, great heads-up play by Nick Allen. He's doing more and more for this team. It's great to see him stepping up from the second team. Haven't got a league this year, so it's great he's having this opportunity in the first team.
Final minute of this third quarter. Hughes again leaves his feet but finds Gastoldi Davis. A wild pass there, and ball goes out of bounds as Bates Canny couldn't quite hang on to it, and it'll be a Hemel possession.
I think for these young players, and it is tough to do, if Tom was playing an under-18s game there or an EABL, I think he would have just taken off and finished at the hoop, and that's how he's got to approach these minutes that he's playing. And just try and play his natural game as much as possible.
Shaquille Lewis all the way, hammers home.
Wow, that is a big-time throwdown. Just took off, sidewinder, hanging in the air. What action here on NBL Live.
Canny, big hand there from Jack Burnell. Could hear that all the way outside.
Whoa. That's exactly what the fans need to see. Not what Oaklands Wolves needed to see. But for the neutral, that was a great play.
And Shaquille Lewis just gets his hand in there. 15.5 seconds left in this third quarter, a quarter that's been effectively one-way traffic yet again. Gastoldi Davis putting the moves on Williams, kicks it out to Kateri for three, short. Final seconds of this third quarter. Allen for three on the buzzer! And Jack Burnell with a little look over to you there as that three went down. Nick Allen with his first points from the field. And he puts it in at the buzzer. And it's a 40-point lead for the Hemel Storm going into the fourth period. They lead 83-43.
I mean, Hemel Storm playing right to the last second. Great look by Jack, passing to his junior teammate. Had some great success together with the Hemel Storm junior team. And Nick, knowing the situation, ready to catch, ready to shoot, and really pleased for Nick to make that long-range shot as well. And, you know, Hemel, as you say, one-way traffic, and they have come out here and put on a professional performance, highlighted by that huge dunk by Lewis.
Absolutely, outscoring the Oaklands Wolves 25-13 in that third quarter. In the second quarter, 30-14. So really one-way traffic here. But if you were Tom Baker, Graham, what would you be telling your boys going into this fourth quarter? The game you're effectively over. However, you know, it's always important to finish strong.
Yeah, it's all about this fourth quarter and then going forward. They can't just throw the towel in. Whoever's out there, and you've got so many young players that are fighting for minutes, and that's a positive for this Leopards. I call them Leopards, of course they were Leopards. Wolves team. You know, they can't stop playing. Every opportunity, every moment on the floor, they've got to give it 110%. Rebound, dive on loose balls, you know, stuff like that. And then on the back of that, they can start knocking down the shots. Now, Kateri started to do some good stuff, got a nice pass in, made his shot. As I said about Tom and some of the young players, play your natural game. Take the shots you'd normally take, even in an under-18 game. And that's not always easy to do, but the more they can play, and Tom Baker is trusting these youngsters, the more they can play, the more a few things work like that Tom or Oliver's knocked down a three, Kane Daly can get to the basket, Powdrill's done some good stuff. You know, the more they can get minutes under their belt, it will happen naturally for them.
Absolutely. And here come the Oaklands Wolves coming out for the final quarter, trailing 83-43, and of course here come the Hemel Storm. We did touch earlier on Hertfordshire basketball, the community it represents, and the great people that volunteer their services to make Hertfordshire basketball what it is. And we were talking at halftime off camera about the Hertfordshire Basketball League, 2 divisions. You know, how strong is that, especially in a pandemic, you know, with games not going on? Just what's the camaraderie like there?
Yeah, but Terry Fry, the chairman, and the other people that do a sterling job of keeping the teams informed, that they're hoping after this pandemic or the severe lockdowns that they can get some sort of games going. But there's 2 leagues, Division 1 and 2, teams from outside of Hertfordshire come in from Bedfordshire and Buckinghamshire, Aylesbury and Bedford Thunder, Harlow Hawks from Essex playing it, and we're really hoping, because it's important for the juniors to play, but it's really important. Great move by Mamouni.
A whistle went there as well, no basket. I think a foul was called before the layup went up.
But it's important for the senior players to be able to play as much. You know, it's a massive part of their lives. The ones that have either played National League previously and come back down to Hearts League or at Hearts League, level. It's really important that league gets back, and so many people benefit from that league.
That foul was on Walid Mamouni. That's his second foul of the day. Of course, Walid Mamouni, probably one of the more veteran players you'll ever find here in the National Basketball League. Started his NBL career with London United back in 2005. Well, some of the Oaklands players weren't even born when Walid Mamouni started his semi-pro career in the National Basketball League.
I spoke to him pre-game, and you know, he was thinking of retiring, but playing for Hemel and the massive crowds that they normally have, that's what really has kept him going, and he wants to do another season. You know, and hopefully the crowds will get back and populate the Storm Dome.
7th season with the Storm, Wally Mamouni, and season with the Thames Valley Cavaliers. In between that, Santiago for 3, way off. And you can see fatigue on Jordan Santiago there as he put that 3 up.
Yeah, a lot on his shoulders, and you know that's tough for him, and he's got it partially blocked. And you know, other players have just got to step up, take responsibility on the Wolves.
Shaquille Lewis with the turnaround, banks it, no good. And Kane Daly comes up with it for the Oaklands Wolves. Still has it up and under. That's a beautiful move by Kane Daly.
And there's a glimpse of his athleticism. That is a tough move.
Beautiful move.
Up and back. And he's a big future, young Kane Daly.
Watching some YouTube footage of Kane Daly at the NBA Junior League in China in the under-18 division, where he really excelled over there and had a decent game. 8 points against the Nottingham Hoods last time out. 3 for 3 from the field, showing his range on that possession. Cummings. Shot clock down to 6. Here is Daly, blocked by Mamouni. Shot clock down to 1. They've got to put up something. Shot clock violation, as Fates Caney's attempt was just after the shot clock. Good defence there from the Storm.
Yeah, great defence, and they just were not going to let Oaklands Wolves have a good look. And you know, that's just shot selection from Kane Daly. There's no doubting his athletic ability, but the shot he took was challenged, over-challenged, and it got blocked.
Shaquille Lewis travels with it. You can see both teams now just getting into that habit of just being a bit too relaxed. You're seeing a lot more turnovers. Do you think, you know, obviously these teams now just starting to get back into it? Of course, last games were played in March. First games are now beginning. Fatigue and rust still a little bit of a factor?
I think so. Yeah, there's going to be some fatigue. It's going to take a few games to get players right up to speed.
Allen slowing it down. Lewis. Nick Allen finds a little room, kicks it out. 3-pointer from Ewan James, no good. And it's 1-on-2 here, and a ban on no offensive foul called. Santiago with the score. He had Kane Daly for company, decided to go it alone. Great defense, though, from Ewan James, who took the charge.
Yeah, Santiago looked at Kane Daly, but he just didn't give the ball up. He's indicating
he wants the score here.
He might be indicating that the defensive player was inside the charge circle.
In fact, I think that's what they're doing. Yeah, they've reversed the call, so the score is good, the bucket is good, and Santiago is going to go to the line for the extra play.
I mean, that's fair enough for him to challenge it. He was almost out of control on the play. It was an unbelievable play to get the score. But he's at the line, and he's going to get a chance for a 3-point play.
Absolutely. Some of the Hemel bench really not happy with that reversal of the call. Doesn't matter because he's missed the free throw.
But if the feet were inside the charge circle, that's a good call. But if they're outside, then it should be an offensive foul, I think.
James with the pull-up jumper long. And Cummings with his 4th rebound of the day. And here is Cummings still with it. And a 3-pointer rattles around, no good from Nick Pandrell.
They've had a few of those today, John, haven't they? They just haven't quite dropped. A few more of those goes, and the confidence really comes up.
Nick Allen all the way, no good with his layup attempt. I was going to say Oakland shooting below 25% from downtown, and an unsportsmanlike foul called.
Santiago really pushing the ball down the floor there, and Cummings was ahead of him. I think James is slightly oiked that the ball didn't come, but
I think that was on Jack Burnell. I think actually that that call. That was, I think, yeah, that's his second foul of the day. It's on Jack Burnell, so Jordan Santiago going to the foul line. Oaklands will get possession back. 6:17 remaining in the game.
He is tough to, when he's in full flow though, Santiago, he is tough to stop, John, and maybe that's the only way Jack felt he could do. Maybe he took a leaf out of his father's defensive book there.
Now.
John might mind saying.
He is sitting right over there, just so we're aware. Socially distanced, of course.
A tough player in his time, John.
Kateri inside, Akpafure inside, he scores.
Yeah, that's great read and react between the two Oakland Wolves players, and Akpafure with another two right under the hoop.
Nick Allen, good defense there from Oliver Wright, and here is Santiago going back to the line for two with some acrobatics there. And he got the contact and will go back to the foul line.
That tough pass across the top, Nick trying to get it over to Jack. Jack just hadn't quite come towards the ball quick enough. Santiago just dived in for the steal, and he was trying to make a tough shot, which almost came off, but he's back at the line for two shots.
Absolutely, and as we mentioned at the top of the show, teams in the National Basketball League taking the knee pre-game for Black Lives Matter, and number of teams wearing warm-up jerseys with the with Black Lives Matter. Oaklands Wolves on the back of their jerseys have the Black Lives Matter words on their vests as the fight for equality in this world continues, and we are standing by everyone to join in the fight. As Shaquille Lewis inside, he scores.
Yeah, Shaquille just showing his nice up and under move there. Good footwork and soft finish right at the hoop.
Right for three in the corner. No good. Big rebound from Santiago. Nice pass to Akpafure and blocked by Mamouni. That's his second block of the day. And I think a foul has been called. And it will be a Hemel possession. I think that was on Oliver Wright. And it is, yep, that's his second foul of the day.
Good defense by Wally Mamouni.
Nick Allen going all the way behind the back pass, just about finds Shaquille Lewis. Hook shot is good.
Big pass behind the back. I mean,
absolutely.
He's always looking for the good options, Nick, and Shaquille Lewis with a good patient move on the jump hook. 9
points now for Lewis. Kateri for three. Santiago again with the loose ball rebound. Floater, and it sticks to the basket. Jordan's...
Yeah, tough move for Jordan again there.
Absolutely, yeah.
Having a dribble left, bit of fadeaway. Could be a bit of fatigue, as you mentioned. He's having to take a lot of responsibility for this team.
Absolutely, that's Jordan Santiago's 21st field goal attempt. The next person to him is Kane Daly with 8. Nick Poundrell actually has 8 attempts as well. He's 0 for 8 from the field.
But the Oaklands Wolves players have to take the shots that are being offered to them if they're open.
Absolutely, yeah.
You know, don't keep deferring back to Santiago.
Lewis. And Lewis, I think, travelled with it. In fact, I think a whistle has been called there. John Burnell shouting it's a foul, and the referees duly agreed with him, and it will stay a Hemel possession.
John thinking he was in the stands for a moment at the Hemel Storm game, not in the assistant coach's seat.
Of course, a big shout out to all the Hemel Storm fans tuning in today. It's so hard, of course, not being here as Jack Burnell puts in another 3. It's so hard not to be here today. Of course, Hemel have one of the best supporters in the league. They travel home and away with this team and always make their voices heard.
Yeah, it's a great setup there. You know,
absolutely, yeah.
Really professional setup. Great sponsors as well.
Yep.
you know, and getting transport and big buses to the game so they can take all the players and all the spectators safely. It's wonderful. Got steeped in history with Hemel going way back to Ovaltine and Hemel Royals and of course then Hemel Storm as well. So it's the tradition, you know, lives on for that team, and Oaklands Wolves are trying to build something here as well, you know, but giving youth a chance, linking in with the academy, and they're doing the right things here. They can build a big fan base, hopefully here as well.
Burnell, catch and shoot is good. That's another 3 for Jack Burnell.
Yeah, the breaks are off for Jack now. He's got good size, 6'3". He can shoot over most defenders that are trying to guard him. Just a confidence thing with Jack, and he's hit his last couple.
Akpafore for 3. That's long. Rebound, Ewan James. And Shaquille Lewis gets it. Mamouni from the foul line. And the ball goes out of bounds, and it will be an Oaklands possession. Of course, one of the things we showed you in the halftime package, of course, you saw a number of videos being played, and one of those was the upcoming Commonwealth Games to be held in Birmingham. Of course, the 3-on-3 competition will be staged in 2022, and 3-on-3 is still a bit of a taboo in a way for most people, I think me included. Just to talk about the 3-on-3 and just talk about what it's going to be like for those fans tuning in and watching it in Birmingham during the Commonwealth Games.
Well, for the people that can go along and watch it, 3-on-3, you can just do that at the park. Anyone can play 3-on-3. It's a great way of just getting into basketball, making your moves, your amazing moves. You know, and some of the 3-on-3 stuff, of course, gets translated onto the 5-on-5. But just to give access to basketball for a lot of people, some people that may not have tried it before, they can go along and watch it at the Commonwealth Games. And of course, you're going to see some amazing play. The Doha Masters is on at the moment with the FIBA 3-on-3, and the junior. I know GB under 18s put an under 18 team into the qualifiers for different FIBA competitions. So there's opportunities and pathways from 3-on-3. You can either specialise in that, which a lot of these 3-on-3 players will be, men and women, boys and girls, or you can, you know, translate that 3-on-3 play into 5-on-5.
Absolutely, and it's one of those emerging sports, isn't it? 3-on-3 basketball, and we'll be seeing it at the Commonwealth Games in Birmingham. Kateri for 3. And on the turnaround there was Nick Powdrell, and his turnaround is no good. Burnell, another 3, and nearly got another one. On the follow, though, Allen, no good. I got a little ahead of myself there for a minute. Kateri going all the way.
Again, Jack running the floor really well there, just getting to his spot.
Kateri again for 3, and this time makes no mistake from downtown.
I've been really impressed with Kateri's second half all-round play. He's really bringing it, and they've got to hold their heads up now, Oaklands Wolves, and keep fighting for Coach Baker.
6 points for Kateri, and a turnover there. Shaquille Lewis missed it. Big block from Nick Allen, but a foul called as Tom Hughes was going for the layup, and Bodie Adalola urging all of the Hemel players to keep to their seats and not stand up. Poor pass, though, from Shaquille Lewis, allowing Tom Hughes that breakaway there, but he'll go to the line for 2.
Yeah, Shaquille just switched off for a second, trying to get a short handoff with Jack. That's the only issue sometimes with the handoff. Both of you are very close together, and if you don't seal off your player, the defence can just sneak in, which is what Tom did. But I like the fact, great defence by Nick, but I like the fact that Tom kept going, pushed it all the way to the hoop, and got the foul from Nick, and now he's knocking his free throws down. So all building confidence for future games.
And Tom Hughes now moves on to 3 points. Akpafore on the follow off that missed free throw.
And Ray getting into it as well.
Absolutely.
Great job by the big man. That is his job. Be tough, get rebounds.
6 points now for Ray Akpafore to go with 4 rebounds. Burnell, long 3. And Allen picks it up and collects it, and Shaquille Lewis was fouled. Great hustle there from Nick Allen. regardless of the scoreline, 93-57, fighting for every loose ball.
And that's, Coach Spinks is going to love that. Nick is fighting for his minutes. He wants to play in all situations, whether you're 40, 50 up or it's a tight game, and that's exactly what Coach Spinks wants to see. Great hustle from Nick.
Very reminiscent of Drew Spinks in his playing days. As Akpafore blocks the three-point attempt from Jack Burnell. And good pass, or good intentions there from Canny to find Akpafore, but his pass was deflected out of bounds.
Good defence again by Oaklands Wolves. Hemel and Coach Spinks will want the Hemel Storm players to keep focused, keep playing properly, right to the end. Don't switch off. Keep making the right decisions.
And a dunk there. Beautiful move, beautiful pass. And Kateri with the two-hand flush. Shaquille Lewis looked to answering, blocked by Kateri. Oaklands Wolves bringing the energy here. Akpafore gets it to go with a final minute approaching, and Oakland's now really finding their rhythm.
That's exactly what I was talking about. They've got to take this play into the next game, and this one's gone. Hemel over the whole game of being too strong, but now, Kateri is playing great. He's got his dunk. Akpafore really getting just hustle and energy, and these guys, you've just got to excel in your role. Just be good at what you're doing and just stick to what you're good at.
Mamouni. Shaquille Lewis. Inside to Mamouni. Partially blocked again by Kateri. And on the follow, Walid Mamouni puts it in.
Kateri is everywhere. He's really timing his defence, his block shots. He just couldn't stop Mamouni at the end, who really went strong and finished. Good effort by Oaklands Wolves.
Kateri now, that's his second block of the game. Hughes. And Caney will just slow it down. Final minutes here of the Hertfordshire derby. Shot clock winding down, and the shot clock goes off, and another shot clock violation for the Oaklands Wolves, trailing 95-61. As you said, this game now, you could say has been long over, but a great effort, especially in the final minute 50 seconds from the Oaklands Wolves.
Yeah, they've really been turning up the heat on the defence, and Kateri has done a great job. But again, Powdrell, he's kicked the ball out. Go all the way to the basket, finish, be confident.
Steal there from Fates Canny, and he's going to go all the way. Beautiful fake and the score.
And that's another EABL player. He's making his debut and looking very comfortable there.
Shaquille Lewis was fouled, 27.8 seconds remaining. It's really academic now, but both teams still bringing the energy, bringing the hustle. And that's just, typifies how good the NBL is and how good this league is. Both teams, regardless of the scoreline, still giving it their all.
Yeah, there's been no switch off, no letdown at all. Hemel have been pushed all the way.
Lewis, long with his three-point attempt. Tom Hughes comes up with the rebound. Shot clock turned off. Kateri doesn't care. He's going for the three-pointer, no good, and Nick Allen strips it off Hughes. And Nick Allen will just slow play down. Hemel will take this one, 95-63. A professional performance by the visitors, led by 27 points by Greg Polion, 18 points for Mike Williams, the two Americans combining to really do some damage to the Oaklands Wolves. Teo Olafusi with 15 points, 4 of them from downtown. As the Hemel Storm pick up their second win of the season for the Oaklands Wolves, 0-2 after today's game. Jordan Santiago with 24 points, but Graham, unfortunately, no one really supporting Jordan in the scoring, but a lot of promise, no doubt, from this Oaklands Wolves team, despite defeat today to the Hemel Storm.
Yeah, this team, a lot of this team is about the future. They're getting their chance to get some minutes, but in the next year, 2 years, as those players come towards the end of their academy time and come out of the academy, they've got ready-made basketball for them. Great coach, Tom Baker, great motivator, teachers at the academy here as well, and he wants the best for these kids, but they've just got to be confident and try and play their natural game. Don't defer out to senior players. Well, at times there aren't going to be any senior players on the floor. So if it's your shot, it's your shot. If it's your defensive play, it's your defensive play. Just keep being confident and keep pushing. But as for Hemel, well, as I said pre-game, I think they're ready to go. They're ready to win. They've got Mike and Greg really pushing them. And it's really important that the English players, if Mike and Greg have to sit or are out of a game, that the English players can still maintain all that consistency and energy and keep the scoreboard ticking over.
Absolutely, and that brings an end to our coverage of NBL Live, back for a second season. And we started off with the Hertfordshire Derby, and on the 12th of December it will be the South Coast Derby as the Solent Kestrels take on the Worthing Thunder. However, there'll be games full and plenty between then. Just check the Basketball England YouTube channel and the relative teams' YouTube channel to see when the next game is being streamed. As for now, Graham Hiscock, thank you for joining us. I've been John Hobbs. Thank you for joining us here today on NBL Live.